Happy? Good. With Chris Locke.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Happy Good. Wah, 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 wah. Episode 26. We just jumped over episode 25. We'd made 25, and we jumped over it to continue on. We're at episode 26 already in this magical realm of podcasting. We started in April. I'm your host, Chris Locke. How's it going? I gotta tell you, I'm all snug as a bug. Snuggy bug time. And I hope you guys are too. I just had a nice, warm, soft bubble bath with Epsom salts. I know I'm a bath buddy. And, not gonna lie, it's Halloween is approaching, and I did picture a scary hand coming out of the drain pipe or the faucet to grab my legs and scratch them with gross claws that are unkempt. But most of the time the bath was very relaxing, and now I'm in a big, super comfy robe, okay? Like a terry cloth kind of robe. That's right, I'm a robe warrior. Yeah. I was really scared for a sec there. I definitely, sometimes when you drift away in the bathtub, it can get scary, right? You might sink under and drown, or around this scary October, autumn time, horrors can attack you, Thriller, night, daytime, wake up, feel good, have a mug of tea. So, thanks for tuning in. I love everybody that always shows up and checks out an episode of Happy Good. Listen to this. My podcast is different, okay? It's me rambling, trying to help you relax and feel calm and feel good and have some laughs and ha ha ha, I'm a comedian. But it's just me for a half an hour. I get that. It's different. It's not like all these other podcasts where people interview all these great guests and stuff. And I know you have access to all of those podcasts too. And I want to be different in that sense. And I am different in that sense. This is 26 episodes in, and this is how we do it. But what I want to say to you, the listener, if you're loving this podcast and having a great time, please share it and pass it on. Let people know that there's a really fun half-hour weekly thing they can check out that makes them, takes you out of this horror, terror world of psychotic nonsense and whirlwind of pain in a blender smoothie. And it actually helps you relax and feel good. And you just talk about funny, lighthearted, silly stuff. And the host is has a dumb imagination, and maybe he should have stayed in school and upgraded his grades so that he could get a better education and therefore career. But no, the guy's good. He spent the last 20 years being a comedian. Help him out. So just spread the word, pass it along, let everybody know. It's a bit harder to get this podcast to get going in that regard because it's a little bit different and unique. But we have a lot of listeners now already and people enjoying it. So I'm really appreciative, and I love you guys for checking it out. And on that little self-promo intro, I'm going to move away from that now, and we're just going to dive in to feeling happy and good. Do you want me to say it in different ways? I can say it any which way you want. Happy good. Happy good. All kinds of tones. My vocal cords are primed for all kinds of tonal resonances. It's really, it's miraculous. A lot of people don't know this, but before I became a human being, I was a weird kind of like merman who would peek my head out of the savage waves of the ocean and look at people on the shore passing by, and I would sing these really weird sort of like deep sea tonal waves at them, and they would fall in love with each other, and they'd start kissing. It didn't matter who they were with. So a lot of you know that how I like to start the podcast in the first place is we take a deep breath, take like 3 good deep breaths, and get all of the negative pain and crap and fear and horror out of our system, scrape it all up. As you know, I like to say, scrape it all out, get in between the toes, get behind the kneecaps, get all the negativity that's just been drenched into your bones and bone marrow and your muscles. And, you know, think of it as like, let's get to the point where it's like a massage, it's like a warm jacuzzi soak. And can I tell you guys something just before we continue on? I was trying to get on a late night show one time as a stand-up comedian, and it was already too hard because I'm a Canadian and I didn't have my proper American papers at the time. This is totally a true story of me as a comedian in the early 2010s. No, it was actually about 2014 maybe, and I got a little hype on me, and They wanted me on a late night show. I didn't have the thing anyways, the papers, like I said, the work visas and stuff. So who knows how it would have gone. But I had a really killer joke at the time that had a mention of a word jacuzzi in the joke. And they said, can we change that word? Because Americans don't know what a jacuzzi is. So I had to like send them a version of the joke with hot tub or whatever. But if any international people are listening, and I think there are, any Americans listening, can you confirm this jacuzzi thing? I thought jacuzzi was universal. There's no way it's just Canadian or, relegated to outside of the U.S. use. And you guys are like, hot tub? What are you talking about? This is something I've never told anybody in my life, because you're always supposed to keep that stuff under wraps when you're trying to, like, achieve a big-time career goal or whatever. But it's 6 years ago. It didn't happen, and it's okay. And also, you guys don't really know what I'm talking about. Send me a message at Happy Good World on either Twitter or Instagram or something. Like, do you know what a jacuzzi is in the States? Like, come on. I feel like that joke would have killed. Anyways, I didn't get the gig anyways because of all these complications I mentioned. So think of my words or this podcast as a nice, brief half-hour jacuzzi soak, or, like a concentrated deep tissue massage. But what we're massaging out of your deep tissue is the negative, paranoid, angry, fear, all that kind of like all the news broadcasts that just soak in like tar eventually soaks into the ceilings and the walls of a house of a chain smoker, And so we're going to get that all out when we do these 3 deep breaths right now. We're going to collect it all. We're going to collect it all. And I'm going to count down from 3, and we'll start the first one. Deep inhale through the nose. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. And out. Already you can feel yourself feeling a bit better, right? And we're going to do another one. Here we go. Inhale through the nose. Nice and deep. Stretch out those lungs. And blow out all that tar. Months of deep-rooted negative tar. Just one more last one. Collect it all up. Scrape the inside of the back of the nether regions of your mind and just get it all out. Deep inhale through the nose. And out. And here we are in a lovely, beautiful world surrounded by beauty. no more darkness. We're in the light. It's warm. It's soft. It's cozy. It's like you've got a bathrobe on. But they've made those Snuggies now that are like bathrobes that just wrap around your legs and feet and arms, and almost looks like some sort of Teletubby outfit, doesn't it? Well, let's imagine ourselves today wrapped up all snug in a slightly baggy. I always thought the Teletubbies outfits were a bit snug. Not that I stayed up or got up early enough to watch the Teletubbies. Let's imagine we're in like a nice, soft, comfy Teletubby type of snuggie ordeal. You know, not ordeal, deal. And then there's no ordeals in this world. And we're walking around, and our feet feel the softest they've ever felt. It's so cozy, so snug. Yes, like you're walking on some sort of soft nougat land, or maybe like a McDonald's playland. But don't worry, you don't smell the McDonald's food. I know that always kind of... If you're listening, you're like, I love how it smells. It smells like chow time. Yeah, sure. You know, all kinds of different factory manufactured noxious gases smell like different things to certain people. You're walking around in some sort of McDonald playland bubble, sort of like bouncy castle. It doesn't even have to be in McDonald's. It's like those, you're just on a bouncy castle, but it's far as the eye can see. It's not like you're confined to a little bouncy prison while you're a child at a birthday and your parents are sort of like having a passive-aggressive argument about how they don't make love as much anymore, and are you even interested in me, etc. While you bounce up and down and go, look at me, and they go, yeah, I know that you can bounce. Nothing you do is interesting to me. I am wrapped up in my own little world, etc. But we don't dwell on negativity here. So let's imagine the ground is like, as far as the eye can see, it's soft like a bouncy castle ground. But also you don't have to, you can bounce and boing and boing 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 if you want. But you can even just walk and it's kind of relaxing, you know. It's not, because it's not as like circular as shape, so it's not as you know, taut, and your knees aren't bouncing up when you walk and hitting you in the chin or anything. It's soft. It's like a long, like tightly inflated land. I don't know if I'm selling this comfiness on the feet as possible, but it's nice. Like you can fall on it and you can lay there for a long 4-hour deep nap, or you can bounce as far as you want to go. Let's say that you are bouncing on it now in your tight, not tight, but you know what I mean, your fitted, cozy. Personally, I would like my Teletubby Snuggie type deal to be loose around the butt and the genitals, right? You know, I feel like in any kind of perfect comfort zone, you're not going to have, you know, tight jeans on, or you're not going to be wearing like, you know, those like, I don't know, it seems like guys that go to the gym like for 2 hours every day, like they like wearing those shirts that are basically vacuum sealed around their muscles. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that video that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made recently, where he's like, I got to talk to the presidential candidates today, and here's my opinion, but everyone's like, what are you talking about? I can't hear you because your shirt, you know, looks like you're trying to smuggle balloons out of some sort of police evidence room. So I don't know, maybe some of you guys listening are big tough guys with big round muscles like that, and you're like, I want my Snuggie to be as tight as hell. Sure. My opinion is loose, baggy, comfy, wumpy. I can feel it, when I walk, I can feel it kind of rubbing back and forth on my buttocks, like how you kind of dry yourself with a terry cloth towel. And you walk softly across the gorgeously multicolored, day glow, bouncy castle floor land. There's reds, there's yellows, there's greens. Kind of like, I don't know where you are, but have you ever seen the candy? Ooh, I can't even talk about it. My mouth starts watering right away. Jolly Ranchers. Right now we live in a world that is full of all of the colors of the Jolly Rancher candy rainbow. Oh my gosh. I'm going to this corner store right after this to see if they still have Jolly Ranchers. I'm using the Noom app to try and lose some weight so I can be healthier these days. And I would like to see how many calories, because it counts your calories too. I'd like to see how many calories one Jolly Rancher is. I bet you it's not that much. But it would be empty calories no matter what. I get it. But still. If you already know, go on Happy Good World, at Happy Good World on Twitter or Instagram and say, actually, a green apple Jolly Rancher is such and such a calories, Chris. So we're walking across this day glow world. I mean, even the sky is like it. I kind of like the idea that the ground is striped, kind of like on a bouncy castle. You got this sort of striped different colors like reds, yellows, greens, blues, just very primary, vibrant colors. And they're stretching as far as the eye can see in these kind of nice psychedelic kind of striped, vibrant colors. And then when they meet the horizon, the sky rises up over top of you, in the same stretch of colors and stripes of the same colors. So you've got this beautiful day-glow striped land. And I hope I'm using the word day-glow right. There's a punk band from Toronto where I'm from called Day-Glow Abortions. And that's why the word is stuck in my head right now, because I heard them when I was a kid and I was shocked by how crass they were, but of course I instantly loved them. But anyways, and I'm sorry if some of you are sensitive and you don't even want to hear this word abortion or Day-Glow Abortions beside it. I don't know what I'm saying, but do we have any punkers that listen to Happy Good? So here's the thing I wanted to say though, is the sky is not like the same. It's a sky. You can tell it's the sky. The colors and the stripes in the sky are soft, like a nice soft atmosphere of the sky would seem. So it's kind of more like the colors are not as solid. They're not as solid as the bouncy castle ground, soft ground. But they're still the same colors as the stripes. But it's just basically, the sky is a rainbow that is perfectly lined up to match the colored stripes of the bouncy castle ground. You're in this it almost feels kind of juvenile, like a 60s, 1967 version of cartoon about acid or something, description. But it's the thing that you have to remember is the breadth of the distance of the land to the horizon that you can see in all 36 degrees of looking around this giant vista of Jolly Rancher candy-colored land and sky goes on forever. And sometimes when we do this podcast, I like to fill the world with a lot of stuff, but I really am enjoying right now how vast this land is, how snug as a bug, snuggy bug you are, how comfy and cozy you are, and how peaceful it is here. It's quiet. You can hear the air, but it's soft. There's not like a big howling wind. It's just like, when there's basically no breeze at all, but you can hear the air? It's just like, it's like you can hear the planet's generator working, if that makes sense. Like you just kind of hear like, but it's not even a wind. It's not even a breeze. It's just the atmosphere, I don't know, oxygenating itself. You're in this perfect calm, and you just you can bounce around, do the whole thing where you put your hands up in front of your chest like a rabbit, and you pretend you have rabbit teeth, and you go, I'm a bouncy rabbit, ha ha ha. You check your watch, oh, I gotta run, Alice in Wonderland reference, or you eat some chocolate eggs, like, oh, I'm the Easter Bunny reference, or whatever bunny you can relate to. I know some people that when they see a bunny rabbit, they think it's like a message from a loved one that has passed away saying hi. You could even be like that. You can bounce around as a bunny rabbit and go, oh, look, I'm a signal from the beyond. Whatever you want to do. You can lay down and have a long nap for 48 hours and wake up feeling 10 years younger and so refreshed, and your face is all clean and smooth like you just put a bunch of Nivea all over it. Nivea cream. Maybe I should get Nivea cream to sponsor this. What should I call this episode? All of the colors of the Jolly Ranchers, or should I call it Nivea cream? Maybe Nivea would sponsor me and give me actual money to make this product. And just between us, my lovely listeners that I care about so much and appreciate you tuning in every time more than anything, I actually don't think of this podcast as a product. I'm going to make it no matter what, because I like talking to people and calming people down, making people feel good, and I like using this to make myself feel good. So anyways, Nivea cream, if you're listening, give me that damn pile of money. Just shovel it into a wheelbarrow with your shovel and bring it on over to a place where I live in Toronto. But don't think of Toronto. I don't want to stress you out. People who listen from Toronto, you're like, oh, you just mentioned a city that's kind of stinks right now. I don't want to think about it. So you're bouncing around in this rainbow-colored world, and you're snug as a bug. You do somersaults. You do cartwheels. You kind of do those backwards cartwheels where you lie down first and then just throw your legs up backwards. See, as an older man now with a bit of a belly, which has created a bit of a bad back, I have to admit, I can still kind of do a backwardsy somersault, like a flip backwards on my butt. But a regular somersault, that's like giving myself a damn body slam at this point. I roll for 2 seconds, and then the second half of my body, the lower half, just slams down hard, and it feels like someone took a sledgehammer to the bottom of my spine, my sphincter. And then they go, you want more of that? And I go, no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have remembered what it was like to be carefree and 8 years old. Yeah, so you're doing whatever you physically can do, but let's just say this. In this giant, taut, bouncy castle world, full of all the colors of the rainbow in the sky and the calming sense of the calm air, atmosphere, quiet, our bodies can do whatever we want. We can do all the crazy yoga poses that you see on Instagram, where someone's like, hey, look, we can do whatever we want. We can do somersaults. I can do somersaults. You can do cartwheels. You can do backflips. You can run on the bouncy castle floor and do a boing and do a double flip in the air. You can do those yoga poses where they grab their ankles, put their ankles behind their head, and then light a cigarette and go, you rang, and or whatever. That's the thing. Did you ever watch TV? There's a guy on it that said he rang. What are some other yoga poses that you'd like to do on the bouncy castle world floor? By the way, if you can hear purring, my cat Wolfman is sleeping beside me, and I started petting her head, and now she's way into it. Maybe you have a pet that you want, and I'll tell you something. This the bouncy. Don't worry. If you have a pet that you love and you want to bounce with your pet, that'd be pretty fun. Like a dog or cat bouncing along beside you, or like a parrot flying through the rainbow sky and coming and landing on your shoulder. I guarantee at least 50 listeners of Happy Good have a pet parrot. It's just gotta be, percentages wise. Average, if you work out the average of how many people own a parrot, I bet you 50 listeners of Happy Good have a pet parrot. So this is what I wanted to say. A little stipulation about this like soft, bouncy, flexible, fun, Jolly Rancher colored world. If you do have a pet there, the ground is tight and thick enough material that a cat's claws or a dog's claws or a parrot's beak or what have you, or a snake's fangs or what have you, or, you know, like a rodent's claws or sharp teeth, they couldn't puncture the ground, so don't worry. You're going to have bouncy, soft freedom forever. Do not worry. That's the last thing I want you to worry about, is your pet's claws puncturing the ground and making the whole planet fly around the universe like a busted balloon at a grade 6 birthday party. I should have said younger grade. Grade 6, you were still trying to be cool. You were starting to try and be cool. You'd still want balloons, I guess. I still have balloons, even to this day. And I'm 98 years old, if you can believe it. How do I look so good? Bubble baths. No second questions asked. But yeah, I do remember grade 6 birthday party. I had like a Michael Jordan hat. I had a Michael Jordan t-shirt. It was all Michael Jordan City at that point. Yeah, but you don't want the planet flying around the universe like a balloon at a grade 2 birthday party. Grade 2, in my opinion, you're still very much, you're into toys. You have no concept of really caring about finding a loved one at that point, so you're not preoccupied. Grade 6, you start to really get preoccupied, if I can remember correctly. But don't worry, these pets are not going to puncture our wonderful land we've created here. You can please picture anything you want to do. Rolling, just roll about. You could roll to the end of the horizon and back, and your fun pet dog could hold its paws on your back and act like it's rolling you, like a worker rolling a log up a hill to build a cabin up on a little hill there. You could bounce up and down and try and bounce as high as your parrot there, who's fluttering its wings and laughing. You know, you're bouncing up and down, and the parrot is kind of like, I'm really trying not to picture the parrot from Aladdin, because I don't feel like, I love him, I love the man, but I don't feel like Gilbert Gottfried's voice would be that relaxing for this podcast. So please, anyone listening right now, if you picture bouncing up and down in Jolly Rancher land, let's just call it for now. That's what I'll call the episode, Jolly Rancher land. Let's not picture, if I could say anything, please don't picture the parrot that's flying above your head, flapping and laughing as you bounce as high as you might. Please don't picture it sounding like Gilbert Gottfried. I want you to stay as relaxed as possible. Calm. By the way, if anyone does like Happy Good so much and you're loving the podcast, one thing I really want to do is expand my lexicon, my vocabulary, my lexicon of words. Some of you may have noticed, I know people have mentioned before, sometimes I want to mention flowers, sometimes I want to mention a vast array of colors. If you want to give me any gift, and I never ask for gifts, but I think I'm going to try and start collecting vintage thesauruses and dictionaries. Like, I need more synonyms and I need more options. I really want to get more verbose than I possibly can. We're going to end the podcast there with you bouncing up and down with the laughing parrot. That doesn't sound like Gilbert Gottfried, but I do want to say I have a new comedy album out streaming on streaming services and all the online services where you can buy an album with my great comedy pal and sometimes partner in crime, Sean Cullen, and we're called Tony and Keith, and the album is called Tony and Keith in Nature, and we're just hanging out and riffing just like this, but Sean's brain is so magical, and I come along with him and push him along in the worlds that we're building. And so it's streaming now, and get into that. There's 9 tracks. Just listen to it and have fun. It's the same sort of vibe. You get loose and you hear silly ideas and you laugh. But I'm really impressed with Sean's vocabulary. It's unparalleled. The guy's brain is clean as a whistle. There's so much, it's all organized and tight in there that he can access a lot of great ideas, and I've been really impressed and inspired. And I'll tell you one thing, this is totally true. Everything I'm saying is totally true. We just panicked, and before COVID really started coming back in Toronto and freaking everybody out again, second wave is here, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to bring you down, but if you're feeling good right now and you're okay, then you're okay. Stay that way. Thank you. But we're releasing a mini album very soon called Tony and Keith. Chris and Sean are Tony and Keith in horror. And so it's a horror-themed Tony and Keith mini album, probably about 30 to 40 minutes long. And it will come out before Halloween. That's what I really wanted to do. And I just want to say it's one of my favorite, funniest things I've made to put out there. And I think it's so great and funny, and I really love it. So if I could promote anything, be on the lookout for Chris and Sean or Tony and Keith in horror. I really was inspired and had so much fun riffing with Sean. And if you like me, follow me at Happy Good World on Twitter, on Instagram, at Chris Locke World on Twitter, at Chris Locke Fun on Instagram, at Happy Good World on Patreon. I put up interviews and nighty night episodes monthly there. And also send me thesauruses and dictionaries if you have money and for some reason you have old vintage things of those and you're like, I don't need this anymore, I have the internet. I want words. I want more words. I'm like getting older, and I spent a lot of time partying and breaking my mind with booze and stuff, so I'm trying to like get smart again after all this partying and being irresponsible. But I love you guys for listening and checking it out. This is one of my all-time favorite things to do, so thanks so much again. Tune in every time. Tell everybody about Happy Good, and support your local independent comedian friend, and that you actually think is funny, and love life. Get out there, touch a tree, look up at the sky, say thank you to the beautiful breeze that blows through the trees and the sun, and stay free. Okay? Thanks, guys. Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.